We should pick a bench. What? And if it was the shul, that means we all are part of that.
Amen.
All right. By the way, the fact that I wanted to talk about kvias makom, we just put up a seating chart. Punkt this week. By the way, Rabban, anyone that makes speeches, you'll see these things work out. Like these crazy things. We love it. It's our own like private enjoyment when things work out. But it happens a lot, and the Kodesh Baruch Hu gives you Sabbath Shmai. Trust me, there's a lot of these things. Like you're speaking about someone, his name comes up like in that parasha, whatever. All these stuff, they work out. So that's why kvias makom is today and has a connection to the parsha. Anybody know why? It has a shaykhus to the parsha? Avram. Yitzchak. What happened to Yitzchak? So the Gemara says in Brachas, you ready for this? People don't realize how major kvias makom is, having a fixed place to daven. The Gemara says, Amar Abchel by Amar Abhuna, Vavim Abeis in Brachas. Kol ha-kaveh makom l'tfilasei, whoever whose kaveh makom, he has a fixed place to daven, Elokei Avraham ve'Ezrei. The God of Avraham is going to help him. He's going to be his helper. Ucheshemei, so when he dies, I know this is like the depressing part, but when the guy does die at 120, they're going to say about him by his funeral. They're going to be masbid him like this, which is like, I can't even believe these words. Hey, Onav, oh, what an Onav he was. Hey, Chassid, oh, what a Chassid he was. Mitalmidim shel Avram Avinu, he was mamash a Talmud of Avram Avinu. That's what they're going to say by his husband. He's such a Onav. He's such a chassid. It's like a Pel de Gemara. The guy was just had to get ready to replace Daven. That's what they would say. We'll talk about it in a second. Why is he Talmidim shel Avram Avinu? Avram Avinu minolam the kavei makom. How do we know Avram Avinu did this? We're saying he's a Talmud of Avram. The chsiv, because it says in the pasuk, "Vayashkim Avram ba'boker el hamakom asher amad sham." Avram got up early to go daven by the place where he always stood there. Like it sounds like that was his place that he stood. So what he says it means davening. Because it says Amida vein Amida el tefillah. Shenemer v'yam pinchas v'yifal. The word Amida is a lashon for tefillah. Shmones is called the Amida, and therefore Avram Avinu did it. So if you did it, you're like one of his Talmidim, and it's like a huge zach. By the way, just a story about the Kloisenberger Rebbe, Rabbi Kusil Haberstam. Well known what he went through in the Holocaust. It's like it's hard to believe such a thing, and to go through life and what he accomplished later. He lost his wife and 11 children. Like, this is not something, it could be massive. His wife and 11 kids. And when he was liberated from the concentration camp, I think it was called like Munro or something, Munro, I forgot the name of the concentration camp. He was there for 9 months. When they liberated it, and he was getting ready to leave, he was in line ready to leave, I don't know buses, I don't know exactly trains, and he told the guy next to him, I forgot something in the barracks. One second, I'm just going to run back to the barracks. And the guy said next to him, like, what did you leave behind at this place? And you had to go back for, like, they had nothing. They come out, had their own flesh. What are you going back to the barracks? So he said, he has a reason. He ran back to the barracks, and then like a few minutes later he came back, and he's like, what did you forget? He said, I want to talk about it, and that was it. Many years later, this guy went to visit I guess they were friends. He went to visit the Rebbe, and he said to him, I'm so curious, what was it that you left in the barracks after all? What was it? I always wanted to know all these years. He said, I lost my wife, I lost my 11 children, and I had nothing left besides for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That was all I had. That was my only relationship. And I had a fixed makom, a makom kavua in my barracks where I davened all of my tefillas, all the hardships I went through, all my connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, all the times I went through. I wanted one more tefillah in my makom kavua where I davened. And that's where I ran to go daven. Just see the chashivas of having a kvias makom. And just on a musardik level a little bit, I didn't see this inside, but Tzvi Pesach Frank says, you know why kvias makom is so important? Why is it so important to daven in the right place? It's more like a musar idea. Everybody has like issues wherever they are. The guy next to me, the shul, I don't know, different things that bother them. The C didn't set the AC properly in this place. I don't know, everyone has like things that bother them. A person that's kaveh makom means I'm going to deal with the matzah that I'm in and stick with it. I'm not going to keep changing here, there, go to this shul, daven in this place, daven there, here. I'm going to stick to where I am with the pros and the cons. And when you do that, you'll end up enjoying it, and you'll have much more of a connection with where you daven, instead of always this, that, and something will bother you everywhere, by the way. Just throwing this out there, there's something in the body in every single shul wherever you go. I haven't found a person. What? Oh, we're going to get that. Very good. All right, let's go. Here we go. Very good. What is the reason, by the way, the Gemara in Zayin and Mabei says, just to add on to this is not bad also. The Gemara says, I don't know why it's later on the next block, but it says, Amar B'Yechim B'Shum B'Shum Ben Yochai, Kol HaKavei HaMakom L'Tfilasu, whoever is Kavei HaMakom for his Tfilah, this is nice to have, Oivav Neiflim Tachta, his enemies will fall before him. That's not bad. May have any enemies, maybe like the mayor of New York. I don't know. Some guy will be Neiflim Tachta, so that's not a bad thing to do either. Let's talk about this kvias makom for a second. What is the reason? What is the mila of kvias makom? Pashup Shah, what is so major about it? So the Meiri, he says, it's not something so halig or nister, it's very simple. And it's true. You have much more kavanah when you daven in a set place. When you daven in the same place all the time, you have more kavanah. I find this, whenever I daven in a random shul, I just can't stop like looking at the whole, like, you ever had that? Plus all the people. It's like, interesting. that guy, yeah. You know, it's like, it's interesting, like the whole man says like, oh, that kind of interesting, yeah. Okay, so it's like you don't have kavanah. You daven in the same place all the time, you get used to the chevra, there's not so many interesting things. You're able to have kavanah, it makes sense. Personally, I'm very into that. Everyone agree to that a little bit? Like, it makes sense. You're much more, you can focus on your davening. But the Eitz Yosef, he says, and others say this as well, that it's more that tefillah is b'makom a carbon. And we know by karbanis, the place is everything. Kashmul Gav is giving the daf yemi. Ezu makom shal every makom, every detail, every tzafan, darim, where in the mizbeach, where's the matan damin, everything. Where's your makom? So tefillah as well, you have to have a set place because every carbon has to have a set place. So it's more of like a halig, like a carbon type of thing. But the Miri says actually kavanah. What?
Not only OCD.
Not only OCD. No. Where was the din of kvias makom said? Was it said in a shul, in a house? That's what you're asking a second ago?
Shul versus your shot.
Oh, okay, fine, that's another thing as well. So Rabbeinu Yoina, we'll get to that one second. Rabbeinu Yoina says that it only applies in a house. It means a shul is all makom tefillah, right? This whole room is a nice place to daven. It's a beautiful makom tefillah. But in your house, there's a kitchen, there's bedrooms. You should find a set place to daven in your home. Set aside a corner. That is where I daven if I ever daven b'yechidus. That's what Rabbeinu Yoina says. And the Gemara in Yerushalmi.
I don't know which way Mizrach is in my house.
Very good. Especially in the shul, we don't daven mizrach. Just letting everyone know, we do not daven mizrach here. Okay?
Which way is Mizrach?
Mizrach is this way.
Why do we switch?
Oh, so bring up to the board.
Is there an Indian to veer left to drop?
Yes. If you're davening Shemona Esrei, any of you davening, it is worth it. Not your body, but you should turn your head a little bit to daven to that side. Yeah, a little bit if you can. Don't make all matzah. I've been in shuls where my father-in-law shul, I don't daven towards east, and one guy, he davens like this. In front of the entire shul. He's like, just like, can you imagine one guy that way? So I don't think you're supposed to do that. No, not in Bully Islands. Young Israel Avenue J. Yeah. But there is a heter, by the way. If someone's concerned that we don't daven to east, the reason why it's okay is if it works out better for the shul and it makes sense in the Aron here and the way it's set up, you're allowed to, there's room to be lenient. And I'm lenient like that. So our Binyan says, kvias makom is only in your own home. In the shul, daven wherever you want. You're in the shul, you're in the shul. Okay, that's what Binyan says. However, the Rosh and other Rishonim, Agayis Maimonides, they say, Ikar Adin is actually more about the shul. It's about the shul. That is where the Gemara talked about it, that in a shul, you should daven in that place. And that's what the Mechaber says, of Fur Shalacha in Simon Sadi. Mechaber says, Yikba makom l'tfilasa. You should have a kvias makom for your davening. But from this Lashonis, you see it has to do with a shul. You see the word Beis HaKnesses, it's more about the shul than about the home. But the Mishnah Berurah brings down from the Magen Avraham, I think it is, the Mishnah Berurah says that even when you're davening in your house, he says, Yikba makom shelo yival baluhu b'nei abayis. Your family shouldn't disturb you and mix you up. So the Magen Avraham, the Mishnah Berurah's passages like this, that in the shul and in the house, so both, shul and in the house, you should have a makom kavua where you daven. Okay? That's halacha. What?
Are they condoning davening in the house?
that we're not going to get into.
So
It's a different side.
all
Yeah.
the miles are for the shul, or the house
Shul
is just
and-
a distraction?
Very good. So it sounds like the house is more about distraction, but the real thing is in the shul. That is what it sounds like. But Akapanim, whatever reason it is, you should have a kvias makom, whatever the reason is. And the Rosh holds, and the Chaber passes like this, it's not enough to have a kvias makom which shul you daven in. It's actually you have to have a place in the shul, kvias makom. So it's not enough that I daven at Kahal BMC. That's not enough. You have to have a place in the shul. This is my makom tefillah, and the Chaber passes like that as well. Vein die, it's not enough. It's machaber. Vein die b'meshikbulay beis hakneses l'sval. It's not enough to choose a shul to daven in. Elegam beis hakneses shekavua ba. Even the shul that you have a kvias in, tzarich shiur makom kavua. You need to have a makom kavua. And Baruch Hashem, we have a seating chart that every person can now have a makom kavua. But let's say, like, I don't know, like, I have things I have to do. I don't know, I have to run in. If I just daven right here, so machaber paskins. Lo yishaneu, do not change im loyal tzarech, unless there's a reason. If you don't have a tzarech, don't walk in here and just dive randomly. Go to your seat. Unless it's, very good. This is the famous question, someone's in your seat. So, there's no clear, first of all, before I say that one thing, Mishabur brings down, very important, it's from the Rishonim as well. Sorry, it's from the Magen Avraham. That Teich Arba Amos is Chashav Makom Echad. Means within Dalet Amos, which is between, you can go up to 8 feet almost. Within 8 feet, it's like the highest shita. But Pasha, so between 6 and 8 feet, is chashav like one place. It's impossible to be exact, right? It's not like this is my makom kavua, nor else. When Chazal mean, it means your daled amas. So anywhere, this is my makom kavua, anywhere within this daled amas is enough. So someone's in your seat. If you go within daled amas, that's 100% fine. Let's say there's no room daled amas. Should you kick a guy out? I didn't see anyone that talks about 100%. But it sounds like you shouldn't be They talk about, this is what they speak about. Don't kick somebody out because just daven within Dal Amas. That's what the Rishonim and Achrenim say. It means someone's in your seat, this they do mention. Don't kick him out because you could just go within Dal Amas. But let's say you can't get within Dal Amas. Doesn't talk about it. So my personal opinion is, I've heard this from many Rabbanim. I remember Rabbi Khan in Flatbush, in Ishul, he says this all the time. We never kick a guy out of your seat. I don't know. It's just not something we do. It's not what Chazal would want to tell a guy to kick out of your seat. But again, someone could argue. It's got some shuls.
Every single day. Something that they don't realize.
What if it's the same day? Yeah.
Right. So again, this is all up to discretion. There's nothing. I didn't find this anywhere in halacha. It's more of a feeling, a hashkafa. You could argue on this. Like, it's not. I didn't find this.
Could it depend on you're embarrassed or
Right. I think if it's like a member in the shul, he doesn't know. Maybe you can tell him, like, this is my makom kavua, and they'll be like, sure. But like a random guest comes in here, like, oh, by the way, who told me this story? I think my father-in-law told me this story. I think it was my father-in-law. He went to Europe to one of the. I'm not sure what. I think it was my father-in-law. He went to Europe for like one of his trips. They davened some old shul there, which still had a minyan. This is massive, beautiful shul, massive. And he sat down, and of course, a few guys filtered. I didn't even have a minyan, but a few guys came in, and one guy came over to a guy. It was huge shul, tons of seats. The guy says, "You're my makom kavua. If you could please leave." It was just like fun. It was like no minyan come out. It was like in the middle of nowhere. But it's a real thing. It's a real thing. So it's not my type of thing to do. I would never tell a guy to leave my seat. It's my own personal opinion. I've heard this from many other Rabbanim.
Well, that's easy now.
Yeah, no.
If someone's in your seat,
Yeah. I can say Chaim Kanievsky, somebody asked him, what should you do if the Chazan says Hashem Elokeichem Emes and you still know the Shema? Should you stop or should you not stop? He's like, I never had that problem before. Because they always wait for him for Hashem Elokeichem Emes. By the way, halacha l'maisa, if you know Shema, you should stop and listen to Hashem Elokeichem Emes because you want to be Yitzah because it's mashlim, the 248 words, the Kriya Shema that you need to Ramach Ivar. Stop. You should, but just fine. So that's my type of thing. Not to tell someone to leave your seat, but that's up to discretion. Someone can argue on me on that. Sure goal. Few halacha. Very good. This is a good question. Let's say a guy's coming late to daven. He'll come in by, I'm just making God. They're up to Az Yasher. He could daven b'tzibur, but he'll have to skip. He'll have to say Baruch Shamar, Asher Yishtaba, Baruch Kriyishma, and Shemines. He'll have to skip Sukkah Zimra. Or we could go daven a different shul and daven regular, but not in his makom kavua. What would you say? Again, come late, skip Sukkah Zimra, let's say it's a one-time occurrence. Skip Sukkot and Zimra, but daven is makom kavua, or rather go to a later minyan and be on time, daven properly. What does Zayom say?
Makom kavua if it's one time.
Makom kavua one time. Anybody else?
Case by case.
Can we back this
basis
up?
on the person.
Can we back this up a little? If you come late to shul and they're up to kvias, you're supposed to skip or you're supposed to.
So this is a different shiur, and this is a whole shiur in of itself. So I don't want to get into details of that. I don't get into details. It's a little bit more. It's gonna take me 5 minutes to go through that. So we talk about after, though. It's a good question. But let's pretend just the regular skipping, and you could skip. What would you say? So you're gonna skip. Is it better to skip or milky kavua?
You'll have more kavana in the shul, or you come to your
Okay,
shul and
fine. So it's brought down from Shon Zalman Arbach. He says, daven in your makom, daven in your makom kavua. Better daven makom kavua, because any shina in your makom is going to be gerim, confusion. Better daven in your regular place. It makes sense. It makes sense. That's he says to do. It's a good thing to know. Another interesting question is, let's say I daven mincha in Madison title every day. I don't daven mincha here, so that's also not. I don't have a kvias makom. If that is where you daven mincha every day, it means different shuls. That's fine. It means if you daven mincha in my office every single day, I have a minyan. Shachris I daven here, and Marav even daven where I do nights. That's fine. That's 100% fine. But it has to be kavua. You shouldn't daven Marav here, Marav down there, daven Marav. That you're not supposed to do. But if you have a fixed shul, I learned
each tefillah separately.
What?
Each tefillah separately.
Yeah. As long as it's kavua, it means I learn night seder there, so therefore I daven Marav there. It's fine. I daven Shachris here because it works out for my time for my babysitters. It's fine. But you should have a set place. You daven every single day. Of course, if there's something comes up, if you daven a different shul, don't miss tefillah b'tzibur. But overall, you should have a makom kavua. And anything else I wanted to tell you, you don't have to daven the rest of your life. They're talking about it. It's not like, oh man, now I'm stuck. You could change. And guess where the raya is from? They talk about this from Avram Avinu. He traveled, right? He's tense. He went different places to go be Makayev, the whole world. So he changed places wherever he went. He davened.
Yeah.
So if you do a move, what?
We have the same that.
Has to be for a tzara.
No. If you travel, then that's wherever you travel. That's you daven. Once you have a place, don't change.
You like change seats in the same shul?
Yeah. If someone feels there's not the greatest seat because for whatever reason, and you have a tzara, for tzarech mitzvah to daven better, and you want to change, you want an aisle seat, not a window seat, you could change if you need to. Al kapanim. The point is, it's a real thing. It's brought on halacha. There are major miles to it. And just one last thing. Why does it call you honor? Why does it call you a chassid? The Gemara says, you're going to say about your levaya, you're such an honor, you're such a chassid. Why? Kvias makom. So one shot is that if you're a makbid on that means you're a makbid on everything else as well. It means you're honor, it means you're a chassid. That's what some people say. But I saw a beautiful thing from the Ben Yoyada. I was shocked about this. He says, you know why you call it honor and a chassid? Because if you want to get a seat in shul, sometimes you have to sit in some random seat, right? The better seats are taken. The guy says, I want a set seat. So it means he said, okay, I'll sit in the back, even if I get that seat. I want a makom kavua. That means you're an anaf. It means wherever I got, I just want to get a seat. And why are you a chassid? Shocked about Ben Yoyada. He says, because if you're in the back, anytime a chashav guy walks in, you have to stand up because you see. It's like annoying. If he's in the front, you can't see. Not mechuyev to stand up. In the back, so you're a chassid that you said, I want to sit in the back because I'll get a bad seat, whatever. And I want to sit somewhere that can be able to stand up for more people and get that mitzvah. And that's like a little bit of a chassid. So therefore, you call the other, you call the chassid.
It's very distracting.
Yeah, it's that again. Every person can feel. If you could, it's a different shiur. Try to get a front seat. No, really, it's brought down the halacha. It's a less of a problem. It's brought down the halacha. It's about a different shiur. I always, whenever shul I daven in, for many, I try to get the front seat because it's brought down the halacha. It helps you for kavana and it's a milo. It's a big milo. Walls I never heard of. I never heard of it. Go be this. Have a good day. Enjoy.